Oleksandr Usyk. Is he a heavyweight ATG? A lot of people are saying yes with his defeat over Fury. Me, I say the verdict is out. I do not believe at this moment, at this point in time, he is an ATG. And the reason for that is, in my opinion, his heavyweight career has been ruined by rematches. This dude is becoming the rematch king, especially if Triple D gets through Joseph Parker. That means once again, here we are, another rematch. That means in his last 6 fights, he's only fought 3 heavyweights. And if you want to add to that, compound it, in total, he's only fought 5 heavyweights. Five heavyweights. So we're going to consider a guy who's only fought 5 different heavyweights an ATG at heavyweight. Now, if you want to make an argument that he is a great cruiserweight, one of the best cruiserweights, an ATG cruiserweight, you could do that. He went on the road. He beat undefeated champion after undefeated champion in their backyard, just like he's done in heavyweight. However, again, I have to come back full circle to the fact of this dude only rematches, period. He has been stagnated on resume due to rematches. What do I mean by that? Like I said, 5 total fighters is all he's fought. And if he fights Triple D again, it'll remain 5 fighters at heavyweight. That's it. So when we look at his heavyweight reign, he came up, fought Chaz Witherspoon, a warm-up, a dude who was selling hot dogs at a used car lot. No issue with that. You need that for your first fight at heavyweight. Now, when he moved past that, he stepped up. Went life or death with Derek Chisora. In my opinion, Chisora is a very good win. While Chisora has never been a heavyweight, never been a heavyweight champion, in my opinion, Chisora is like that mini boss before the boss. He is good enough to beat everybody but a hero. He is good enough to beat everybody but a champion. Because Chisora always, no matter how old he gets, no matter where he was at in his career, finds a way to make it back to the top 10. And he ends up winning matches that he should not win on paper. Because he's a very good fighter. But he just, for whatever reason, lacks that it to be able to become a champion, as he has lost every time he has stepped up to fight the final boss. So he's like the mini boss, the prelude to the actual boss. So it was a good win. I give him that. But then he goes and fights Anthony Joshua. Now, like everybody who fights AJ, you're stuck in a rematch clause. No issue with that. Beats AJ twice. Cool. Moves on from that. Fights Triple D. Controversial. Now, personally, I believe it was a low blow. I do. I believe 2/3 of the glove was below the belt line, and by definition, that's a low blow. It just, the bottom of the glove is below the belt line. It could be considered a low blow, but especially when you have 2/3 of the glove below it, I consider that a low blow. Some people said it was borderline. Some people said Usyk had his belt line up to his chin. I disagree with it, but I do think it was a low blow in my opinion. So the fight continues. He makes Triple D quit. Good win. He goes on then to fight Tyson Fury. I'll get to the chat in just 1 second. I see y'all over there. He goes on to fight Tyson Fury. Well, here we go again. Rinse and repeat. Wins in a close fight, and then fights him again in a rematch in a close fight. And here we are yet again facing another rematch for Usyk. So at the end of the day, this dude could have 8 fights at heavyweight and only have faced 5 different opponents. 3 of those being the same. And in my opinion, I just, when I think about great heavyweights, and we can go before Tyson Fury because that's a good win. Although I could argue, and you can make this argument with everybody, that Tyson Fury wasn't the same. The last time we saw Tyson Fury really look great was against Dillian White when he hit him with the uppercut and kind of just pushed him off of him because Dillian was trying to hold on to stay up from falling. But when he got in there with Francis Ngannou, arguably Tyson Fury lost that fight. Now, you have to ask yourself, and I understand that styles make fights, but it was one of 2 things. One, Francis Ngannou was a freak of nature. He was just that guy, an unstoppable force, Mother Nature to the extreme. an evolution of a fighter that we have never seen before, because he made Tyson Fury go life or death. Personally, I thought Tyson Fury won. However, many people thought Tyson Fury lost that fight. He had to pick himself off the canvas against a guy who had never had a professional boxing match. Now, with Francis, it could be holy shit, he's just that good, or it could be Fury is not the same, or he didn't take him serious. I don't like excuses, but I'm just saying, because the same thing that is used for Joe Louis when Rocky Marciano knocked him out of the ring, you can't use for Tyson Fury versus Usyk. You can't do that, but you can say Joe Louis was way past his better days, even though he was on like a 7-fight win streak before he got into the ring with Rocky Marciano and got knocked out. But I digress. Then we see Ngannou get in there with AJ, and the first solid punch AJ lands, he folds like a lawn chair. He's on the canvas. He's not ready. He can't take a punch from a power puncher in boxing. He has no idea how to box. He doesn't know what a trap is. He doesn't know how to set up a punch. He doesn't know how to roll with it. He has no defense. He doesn't even see it coming. AJ showed the class of Ngannou, and it was very low when it comes to boxing. So then we see Fury get in there, lose twice to Usyk. And it's a great win because people, I'm not going to lie, they were saying that Tyson Fury could be one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. They were saying that he could have competed in any era, and Usyk's the guy that dethroned him. Okay, valid argument. However, when you think about a guy like Tyson Fury, he didn't just fight the same guys over and over and over, even though he got trapped with Wilder, had to have a trilogy due to a contract that he tried to get out of but was forced to continue, which I believe that if you sign for something, you need to make good on your promises. But the fact is, and I guess you could say Chisora, he fought a shit ton of times, 3, but he beat huge names like Klitschko, ended his reign. It was supposed to be a passing of the torch. Disappears from the sport for 3 years, comes back overweight, fat. So he really lost out on his prime years. Like great fighters, Muhammad Ali lost out on his prime years, evading the war. Mike Tyson missed out on his prime years, getting arrested. So when you come to him, yes, it is a very good win. I'm going to get to the chat, I promise, guys. Klitschko ruled an era for like 10 years. For 10 years, Klitschko just went through the division of the heavyweight. He beat the who's who's, the top guys from, I would say, Pulev, Povetkin, He fought, remember David Haye whenever he faked his toe injury at the end? Look at my broken toe. Look at my broken toe. And David Haye was a hell of a fucking cruiserweight. Arguably, in my opinion, David Haye at his prime at cruiserweight may actually have been one of the best cruiserweights to ever fight. But he doesn't have the accolades of, say, a Usyk. But I think David Haye was a great fighter. He ended Valuev, that big-ass dude, the original 7-foot, 300-plus-pound guy, ended his reign, even though I thought Holyfield beat him and was robbed on the scorecards. And then you think about Holyfield, who I just mentioned, the Ray Mercers, the Ruddicks, the Lewises that he fought. Think about Lewis. Like, all these heavyweights that you think of, and we're not going to go back to like Muhammad Ali, Ken Norton, and so on. It's like Joe Frazier's, not the Rocky Marcianos, who I mentioned earlier, the Joe Louis, Ezra Charles. Like, when you name these heavyweights, yeah, I believe so too. Ross Platt, not to spotlight you, but I believe he beat him too. The George Foremans. Even Michael Moore was a good heavyweight. Michael Moore probably had better wins on his resume than fucking Usyk has overall through the totality of the heavyweight division. And my thing is this. In my opinion, Usyk's state to be an ATG at heavyweight is ruined by rematches, especially if he fights Triple D again. I believe Usyk should go for another top-tier fighter. Don't rinse and repeat. You've already been undisputed. Nobody believes that Triple D is the real IBF champion. You were stripped in the rematch for Tyson Fury. Either one of y'all would have been stripped. You're the king. It doesn't matter who holds that trinket belt. You could get rid of all the belts and you would still be the #1 guy. The belts at this point are irrelevant. But my point is, I would like to see Usyk fight another top-tier guy, who, in my opinion, would be a hell of a fight for him, a hard fight. The real dark horse of the division would be an ATG. I think stylistically, that's a really good matchup. If Joseph Parker beats Triple D, fight Joseph Parker. You never fought him before. That's a good fight for him. It's a new name, a new person to put on your resume, an ex-champion. But if your whole career is spent just fighting rematches, then how can I, as a boxing fan, consider this guy as great as all the other heavyweights who beat name after name after name after name after name? Well, Zhilei Zhang, yeah, Zhilei Zhang, I'm already chopping up that Zhilei Zhang's going to lose. But if Zhilei Zhang gets through ATG, fight Zhang. Zhang deserves a shot. He's got a hell of a lot of power. We're going to see how good Usyk's chin is, how agile he can be, because Zhang slows down very bad. But in the first 5 to 6 rounds, he's fucking deadly. There are names out there, Bacoli, who nobody speaks of. There are names out there that I think Usyk should be fighting over a Triple D rematch, only because he's had so many rematches. You know what? I'm going to drop the link if anybody wants to talk. Like always, when I go live this late, I got food sitting in front of me, and if y'all talk, I can shoot. So we'll do that. But I mean, I don't even know if I can consider Usyk resume for resume as good as a Mike Tyson. And you'll have people who will argue Mike Tyson has a bad resume. He has a bad resume. Even though when he was 20 years old running through the division, he was beating undefeated champions. Just because you don't know who he beat doesn't mean he didn't beat good people. Hell, Frank Bruno was a fucking powerhouse monster. And the thing about it is I don't even consider Usyk on the level. I don't even know if Usyk's resume is on the level of a Ray Mercer. When I look at resume, names, who he fought, who he beat, it's just hard knowing that this dude has fought. It will be in 6 fights, only 3 people, if he fights Triple D again. And I'm going on the contingent that he will fight Triple D again. Now, there is the possibility that Joseph Parker beats Triple D and we get the Parker fight, and then Usyk can add to his names, his legacy, who's on the resume. If he adds more names, then unfortunately he's older. So I don't think he has a lot of time left, especially when these guys only fight 1 to 2 matches a year. So there's not a lot of miles left on the clock for Usyk, and I really truthfully think his next fight is probably going to be his last fight, more than likely, if he even fights again. But I can't see a guy who constantly rematches and it's rinse and repeat being touted higher than guys who beat name after name after name after name after name after name. He ain't on no Lennox Lewis's. If we just go by past eras, you're not on Klitschko's level, in my opinion. You're not on Lennox Lewis's level, in my opinion. You're not on a Mike Tyson level, in my opinion. And I can just keep going back and back and back and back and back. I don't see it. I don't understand how people are making the argument that this dude is the greatest heavyweight of all time, and all he does is rematch. Chaz Witherspoon doesn't put you there. Derek Chisora doesn't put you there. Fighting AJ's a good win. Fury's a good win. Triple D is yet to be seen how good of a win it is. We're basing him off of him beating AJ, but AJ has never really seemed the same since he lost to Ruiz. So Triple D's greatness is contingent on one fight, Anthony Joshua. That's it. Before he beat Anthony Joshua, he was a quitter. He quit against Usyk. He quit against Joe Joyce. He quit twice in the ring, and people get amnesia very fast by a good win. You can't overlook that. Now, yes, you can get better with your career. Yes, you can get more confidence in your career. But we haven't seen Triple D with his back against the ropes since he fought Usyk and quit. We don't know if he'll quit again. We don't know because he hasn't been in that position. The AJ fight was over so fast, he caught him so early that there was no need for him to give up. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go idle for a moment because we have the super hot fire of boxing debates. This man is 552 and 0, never lost a debate. And when boxing debate royalty rolls through, you gotta let him speak and take the show. So for the moment, I'm gonna let Ross Clark, Jason Calabar, speak while I eat on this food.
Oh
Go ahead.
man, what's up, man? What's going on, man?
Nothing much. How about you?
Oh man, I'm just chilling, man. Listen, I agree with everything you said. I think, look, I talked about it already. I made a whole video about Usyk, like with the whole this era and him being ATG. In my opinion, people can't say, oh, he's an ATG heavyweight or whatever when he doesn't have that resume. He doesn't have that. I don't know. It's just hard to say. You could say he's an ATG cruiserweight, possibly. I don't care about cruiserweight because it's not hard to be great at cruiserweight, it being a newer division. You feel me? Like, there's not
Yeah.
much history there. So it's one of them things where it's like at heavyweight, like to me, it's the same people over and over again. The Triple G fans, the Lomachenko fanboys. These are the same people who's talking about Usyk, and it is what it is.
And just like that, he fell off. Gosh damn, I thought he was gonna stick around. But he said how he felt. It is how it is. Like Joshua said, it is what it is. All right, let me get to the comments real fast. Um, Here we go. Usyk is no ATG. Yep. I'm gonna watch your video, Ross Clot. I'm gonna watch it because I haven't seen it. Oh, he's back. Hold on. Let me
Sorry
get through
about
these
that.
comments
I
real
meant to go
quick.
mute. I meant to go mute. Yeah, no,
Right.
I spoke on it right after Timothy Bradley spoke on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of them situations where it's like fans just like what I don't like is they want to undermine past heavyweights achievements with fantasy fights. I don't care if you feel if fans feel like Fury could beat Ken Norton or Fury could beat Razor Ruddock, whoever. That's not how you determine who was the best and who was that. This dude is fighting 3 or 4 freaking heavyweights and is not going to keep in mind, he's not going to fight at all this year until Dubois and Parker fights.
Right.
He's not going to have a fight in between because he can't risk losing. You see what I'm saying? So if this was the 70s, Muhammad Ali would fight in between. Larry Holmes would fight in between. And you feel me? Like, this generation sucks.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's why I was saying earlier that they only fight 1 to 2 times a year. And then it's looking like he's only gonna fight twice in this year because he had this early fight and then probably October, November, maybe even December, he'll fight the winner of the Parker Triple D fight. Probably October because I think that's whenever Riyadh season really starts going big. But
Yep.
more than likely it'll be an October fight. And I
Right.
agree with you. Like throwback fighters, they would have had 3-4 fights in a year. And
Back. Yep.
I mean, it's just I don't know, man. Like I even like greatest cruiserweight of all time, maybe. I mean, if I go off the eye test, I think more than likely David Hay would have probably sparked his ass, but I could be wrong. But moving off of that, you got to look at a guy like Evander Holyfield, a 5-time heavyweight champion. Now, granted, to be a 5-time champion, you got to lose 4 times. But he regained the title 5 times.
Right.
And the thing about Holyfield is name after name after name after name after name, win, lose, or draw. He fought the who's who,
Yeah.
legendary ATG, GOAT
Yeah.
names,
Yeah.
Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer in boxing.
Yep.
And outside of Tyson Fury and AJ, that's all Usyk's got.
Right. And when you fight a lot, the probability of you losing is higher. So Holyfield losing, the losses don't mean anything to me. It's what you do after. You understand what I'm saying? It's what you
Right.
do after. So it's one of them situations where, like I said, they undermine past heavyweights' accomplishments It's okay. Well, he beat Fury, and we feel like Fury could beat every heavyweight. Therefore, he's the best. I don't know if Fury could beat every heavyweight because he got put on his ass by Cunningham, who wasn't even a puncher at cruiserweight. So I don't know if he could beat everybody. That's just a hypothetical. You feel me?
Yeah.
So my thing is this: he's fighting in a better era. I don't know if Usyk is fighting in a better era. You know why? Because he's not fighting everybody.
No. Hold on. Pause. No. Fuck no. This is not a better era of boxing. And I concluded off of this, right? When you look at who the top fighters that are no longer there were, you had people from the Klitschko era still being in the top 10. You had Povetkin, that was 3 or 4. You had fucking Pulev, who was at 3 or like interchangeable with them, 3 or 4 throughout the entire Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua reign. These dudes from the past era who couldn't even beat the past champion remained top tier fighters, and they were old.
And they was old as shit.
Old as shit.
Yep. I remember that.
So I disagree. I don't think this era of boxing is as good as Klitschko's era. And I don't think Klitschko's era was as good as Lewis's, even though Klitschko and Lewis are pretty close. I don't think. I mean, you could argue that Lewis's era was harder than Tyson's. When Tyson was in his prime in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
You could argue that Lewis's, because there was a lot of names during the Lewis reign. But
you mean Lennox Lewis? You talking about Lennox Lewis?
Yeah, I would say Lennox Lewis's era was probably harder than Tyson's.
Tyson Fury or Mike Tyson?
Mike Tyson.
Oh, that one might be debatable.
But I think Mike Tyson, even if you say Mike Tyson had a weak era of boxing in the 80s, I think this era is way weaker than the 80s.
Yeah, it is. It's way weaker. It is.
Like, judging off of what I have seen, and like you said, you don't like to do hypotheticals, but I could not imagine, even in the UK, I don't think AJ could get through Frank Bruno. I think Bruno would have sparked his ass faster than Triple D did.
Me too.
Because the difference with Frank is he had no fear. He had a decent chin and kicked like a fucking mule when he hit you. And he came straight towards you. There was no fear of Frank. He's coming right at you. And AJ folds under pressure. We've seen it multiple times now.
Yeah, that's true. If Frank Bruno would have hit AJ with that same uppercut he stunned Mike Tyson with, it would have been over.
Oh, it would have been done. He would not have recovered. Let me hit these comments real fast, just so I can catch up. All right, Vaughn said, it is what it is. Beat the brakes off of Joshua twice, beat Fury twice. I know, but that's my whole point. And now he's about to fight Triple D twice. You can't keep fighting the same fighters over and over and over and be considered an ATG. At some point in time, you got to fight new fighters. And the thing is people like to overlook. We remember the great guys, right? We remember the big names. People forget the really good fighters like Samuel Peters. Nobody remembers him. But that dude was supposed to be the next coming of Mike Tyson whenever Klitschko beat him twice. That dude was incredibly skilled, and people forget about the fighters like that. Why? Because the great champions make you forget about those up-and-coming fighters. But they fight them. Usyk hasn't even fought an up-and-coming fighter outside of Triple D, and it's arguable how good he really is. Because like I said, I cannot forget he quit twice. Let me continue. That body shot was clean. Excuses. I don't think it was, Charles D. I really don't. That was the cleanest body shot I've ever seen. Secret dance moves. Like I said, I cannot agree with that. Dubois was 100% robbed. Still can't agree with that. Dubois won that fight. He's just going on. He mad that Triple D. He must have lost money on that fight. He probably picked Triple D to win that fight, 5th round knockout, and it got ruined by the ref. So what's your problem with Usyk? I've already said it. You can't repeatedly have rematches and be considered the best. You have to fight more people. He has not fought. I mean, you just have to fight more names. If you want to be considered one of the best, you have to have more names on your resume than just rematch after rematch after rematch after rematch after rematch. Even if you don't count that knockout, Dubois went cold, having to wait for the 50. But the same thing you could say for Usyk. Usyk could have went cold laying on the canvas for 4 minutes and 15 seconds. So you can't really use an excuse when the effect is done on both guys. You know what I mean? Like, I never like that argument where if a guy gets hit in the nuts and he was tired before, and they're like, oh, he's taking a breather, and then the guy comes back to win that got hit low. Well, no, because the guy who had more energy got the rest too. It's equal when there's a break. Like, you're both resting. So that to me isn't really an excuse because you both benefit from it. And Usyk has a much better gas tank than Triple D. And if anybody needed a break, it would be Triple D. Okay. I'm just skipping yours because you're all here, Ross Clot. Usyk really isn't that complicated to beat. It's just that today's heavyweights lack any type of movement. Yeah. Yeah. Tyson Fury, who was supposed to be very good at movement, doesn't move like he used to. So I already responded to this. I disagree. I think ATG Caballero is going to dance circles around Zane. Maybe even stop him. He might even stop Zane late. 10th or 11th round. He may put Zane down. Nah, Dubious is the one rematch. He absolutely has to rematch more than AJ for sure. But that's the problem because he's already had 2 rematches pretty much back to back. If he does a 3rd rematch back to back, it just ruins his legacy. You're wasting time when you could be fighting young fighters. Hopefully Parker will win and we get to see him in there with somebody new. And that's nothing against Triple D, but I don't want to see Usyk fight him again. I personally had Fury winning the first fight against Usyk. I did too. I had him winning both fights, to be honest with you, against Usyk by a point. But Usyk rematch. See, clear for you. For me, I thought Fury won both fights. What's going on, Electric Jet? How you doing? Hablo. Holyfield fought in the better era than Usyk. I already said that. Don't know why you reaffirmed what I said. But if Usyk puts together a run of defenses but he's not, because I guarantee you, Hablo, he's got 1 fight left in him. Right now, no, I agree. Tyson beat Razor Ruddock twice. I said that. I said he beat Ruddock earlier in my monologue. He's agreeing with you, Russ Clyde. Boy, how many chats do I have left to go? Holy shit. Okay, that's not relevant to me. Good point. But once, this dude is in love with me. I'm telling you, this dude secretly has a poster of me on his wall. I'm his favorite YouTuber, even though I rarely make videos. So here's my thing, right? This is what I look at, okay? Here's my problem with this punch. I thought it was low. You could argue that it wasn't, okay? Outside of that 1 punch, what did Triple D do in that fight against Usyk? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. So,
Haplo, can I respond to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
You're right. Outside of that controversial shot, he didn't do anything. But that's just like saying if a person was losing the whole fight and then he clipped them on the chin and then the referee didn't count it, and then the guy who got clipped still wins, that was the win. That was the one shot that he needed to win. When your trunks are high, right? When your trunks are high, anything on the belt line, even if the thumb is below a few centimeters, is legal. There's no way to measure where and exactly where the glove is. The knuckles punch the belt line. Doesn't matter where the red was from the bottom up. The knuckle part hit the belt line, which is legal. That's where we say, oh, it's a legal shot, but they made a technicality to give the benefit of the doubt for Usyk. Oh, well, the gloves, you could tell that the gloves were right below the belt, but the knuckles wasn't. See what I'm saying? That's why it's a legal shot.
I hear what you're saying, and I, long time ago on my community page, put a picture up that showed, in my opinion, 2/3 of the glove below the belt. Now, when 2/3 of the glove is below the bottom part of the belt, in my opinion, it's a low blow. But my thing is this. I agree with you. It doesn't matter if you land a punch from the gods. A win is a win, right? But we've seen this play out so many times in the past. When a guy only has 1 punch and he's been dominated for the rest of the fight, in the rematch, he always gets beat up. That punch never comes again. And I'll do recent fights. I won't even go back. We saw with Andrew Ruiz against AJ in the rematch, completely one-sided, not even competitive. Now, We've seen it with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. If you want to say Deontay Wilder should have won the first fight, okay, cool. But you take away that 12th round, even though I know he knocked him down twice in the first fight, but you take away that 12th round, he got completely dominated in the first fight. And then he goes into the rematch. The towel has to come in. He goes into the trilogy, and he's sleeping with a teddy bear on the canvas. The point is, while yes, I agree that one punch can change the whole momentum of the fight and you can win off of that and it can give you a win instead of a loss, we're talking about the rematch. It never bodes well for the guy who got completely dominated in a rematch that needed a shot from the quote-unquote boxing gods. It never turns out well for them.
Right. I mean, I don't think anyone is picking Dubois to beat Usyk.
So it shouldn't happen. We need to move on.
Well, but one shot did change the course of the fight. No matter how we put it, one shot changed the course of the fight. That's just like saying Joe Louis shouldn't have if Joe Louis would have rematched Billy Conn, then Billy Conn, we know, would have outboxed him in a rematch. We don't know because they didn't have a rematch. But what we do know is he knocked him out. He knocked Billy Conn out. Right? So one shot is warrant. Usyk laid on the ground, holding on to his balls, saying that he was hurt. What it was is he had the wind knocked out of him. That shot was right on the belt line. He did this in the tournament. Do you guys remember? Does anybody remember when Usyk got hit in the tournament? I forgot by who it was because he only had 3 fights in the tournament. One of them dudes clipped him in the body, and he did the exact same thing, and the referee saved him. And he did it with Dubois. This dude has Keith Thurman's body. Usyk is a bum.
All right, hold on. I'm going to share my screen real fast, all right? Let me see. Check this out. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
So what I did in this is I took it's really sloppy writing, but I outlined the top of the belt and the bottom of the belt, okay? And I did it to see where the actual belt was. Now, let's just say hypothetically, the top of the belt was at his navel, but a boxing belt is thick. I would say from memory, not wearing them in a long time, from the top of the belt to the bottom of the belt line is about 4 to 6 inches, somewhere in between, right? So while it may have been at the navel, 4 to 6 inches down would have had it where it should have been. So the bottom of the belt line, I'm saying, should have been where the top of the belt line was, okay? Now, the problem is, if you look at this picture right here, 2/3 of Dubois' glove is below the bottom of the belt line. So do I believe he was hitting the nuts? No, I think he was hitting the lower abdomen right above his dick. That's what I believe. But you're not supposed to be hit there. And if you do get hit there, like you said, it can take all the wind out of you. So this right here, when I was going through all this stuff, I don't know, man.
So
I don't know. Like I said.
But so in the beginning of the fight, huh?
I'm saying that's why I did this artwork right here.
I mean, this is great and all, but the shot is on the belt line, and the belt line is legal. It doesn't matter where the 3 inches to the glove is, or whatever. That's just like if I hit somebody in the ear, and then what? The 2/3 of the glove looks like it's behind the ear. That's it's a legal shot.
No, a referee.
It's a legal shot.
A referee.
It's a legal shot. But if I hit on the ear, if I hit on the temple, remember we're wearing gloves. We're wearing gloves.
But what I'm telling you is, and I have seen it in fights, a referee could actually call that an illegal punch. If that glove,
you're right,
lands on the back of the head, it's at their discretion to call it legal or not legal.
Exactly. It's to their discretion. In in the beginning of the fight, the referee will say the trunks is high. This is the legal. This
Right.
is legal right here. Right.
I agree.
I believe they didn't do that for Usyk in the beginning. I have to go back, but I don't think the referee said that. But they usually tell you this is legal. Your trunks is too high, so this part is legal. He purposely wears his trunks high. It's a tactic. Boxers do it all the time. It's a tactic, especially the ones with weak bodies. Usyk got a weak body. Now, at the end of the day, Usyk won. It is what it is. At the end of the day, if they have a rematch, Usyk is going to beat him again. I personally think they're not going to fight. I think Parker's going to beat Dubois. And then Usyk might fight Parker. And then that's going to be interesting. But that's just me. That's just how it happens. Well, I think it's going to happen.
Parker, see, I'm going to tell you, my theory, my conspiracy is that Tyson Fury got his birth certificate from the same place that Luis Ortiz did. I don't believe that dude's 36 years old.
No, he's not.
I've never believed he was the age that he claims to be. That man is at least 45.
No, he's not. He's not 36. I would say at least he's probably like 40, 41. Because his knees are gone. Like, let's be real. Those knees are gone. That's why I picked him to lose. Those knees are shot.
Hey, keep the chat going. Talk about how you feel about Usyk, ATG. I'm going to put this food in the microwave. I'll be right back.
All right. But at the end of the day, well, okay, this is the Ross Klotz show now. Now that Tony has left to make his TV dinner, the MOBC has now taken over Tony's review, and this is now the MOBC's review. Welcome to the real show where Usyk is a bum with a weak body, and the referee helped him out so that he could become a heavyweight ATG, but the MOBC says he is not an ATG. The MOBC also says that Lomachenko is not an ATG, especially having 3 losses with 20-something, with like 21 or 23 fights. And Triple G is not the greatest middleweight of all time, because when he had his biggest fight, he failed miserably. I'm just kidding. But no, I think Parker is going to outbox Dubois because Dubois fought 3 fighters that are not mobile in a row, back to back. And I don't think he's going to be able to deal with Parker's mobility. It's going to be an interesting fight. As long as Parker's legs are still intact and he's 100% healthy, I think he's going to pull out a victory and beat DDD, Triple D. That's what I believe. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that Usyk is an ATG. I mean, if people want to call him an ATG as a cruiserweight, that's fine. I don't care. But at heavyweight, no. Usyk is no ATG. Not at all. He's not an ATG. Never, ever. Salute to Blood Boxing in the building. Welcome to, this is no longer Tony's review. This is the MOBC's review. I have taken over Tony Review's channel. He went to heat up his TV dinner that he got from Safeway, one of those Weight Watchers TV dinners, right? Tony Review claims that he's this weightlifter and buff and all that, but he just went to the microwave and heat up that little Weight Watchers, a little pasta with a little bit of rice with the old vegetables, and he got his little lemon water. You know, Tony Review got his lemon water. He's going to put a little bit of spice, a little bit of cucumbers in there. That's what Tony does. See, the MOBC, we don't eat Weight Watchers. We eat what we want to eat. You understand? That's the difference between the MOBC and Tony's Review. That's the reason why I took over the show. He didn't go and leave on. I made him leave. The MOBC has made Tony leave his own show. That's what I do. This is why, listen, this is why I don't get invited to nobody. When I click the link, people already block me because they know I'm going to take over the show. I'm my own boxing community where each and everyone can get it. I don't care who it is. I am 49-0 in debates. Period. I'm undefeated. I can't lose a debate. You feel me? So that's why Tony went to go heat up his Weight Watchers, right? And I didn't even hear did anybody hear the little toot, 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 toot? Did anybody hear the buttons? I don't think so. But anyway, I think Usyk is not an ATG. I believe that Timothy Bradley was correct. Timothy Bradley has ruffled some feathers, but there's a pattern. If you guys could understand, there's a pattern. The same people who jock Triple G, who jock Lomachenko, all right? These people who are saying Bivol and Beterbiev is the best light heavyweights of all time, the same people who says that, the Europeans are taking over, these are the same people who feel this way about Usyk. And to me, I don't care if you're European, you're from the UK, you're from Japan. I don't care. The MOBC wants to see the best fight the best. And I do believe that Usyk is one of the best fighters today, but I wouldn't put him above Inoue. I have Inoue above Crawford and Usyk. Huh?
I have Inoue higher than Usyk.
Yeah, me too. And Tony, I'm letting you have your show back when you left. The MOBC took over.
You never actually took the show from me. What had happened was you hit me with a low blow, and I needed my 4 minutes and 15 seconds to recover. But now that I'm back from my low blow, you're gonna bow out and quit like Triple
D. But for real though, man. Hey, listen. All I know is if they fight, I got Usyk beating Dubois. I think he's gonna beat him. It's the style. It's the style.
Oh, Usyk will beat him every time they fight. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like the only thing 100%. Dubois has is a prayer. But
yeah,
I agree with you. I don't think Triple D can get through Parker.
I have a feeling that Parker's gonna win. I have a funny feeling because, like I said, in my opinion, Dubois fought 3 fighters in a row that was very stationary, don't move that much, slow. Parker is going to be moving. Parker's pretty quick, So we'll see.
Especially with Andy Lee. Andy Lee is an expert at breaking down strategies. So,
I think Andy Lee is one of the best trainers today.
Yeah, very
straight
good.
up.
Very good.
Yeah, he's straight up. I think he's one of the best trainers today. I really do.
I think they're gonna dissect Triple D, and
yeah,
I really think that it's just gonna be one of the things where Parker's gonna be one step ahead. I just think Parker's not just the mobility, but I just think he has a better boxing IQ.
Yep. Yeah.
And
yeah.
You gotta understand, like Parker's been thumped by a lot of them. And outside of Dillian White, I don't think anybody's ever dropped him.
Yeah, he has a good chip. I mean, he's a good fight.
Zhang put him down too, didn't he? Didn't
Zhang put him down too?
Yeah. But my thing is, if you can make it through Zhang shots clean and get up and still win, you could take Triple D.
Yeah, Parker is durable. He's very durable. I give him that. He's very durable.
Blood boxing. I see you in the
Salute blood boxing.
Historian right there.
He said it was a little pony value pack. Tony needed his lean cuisine.
Pablo, if you want to get on the panel, you can get on the panel. I wasn't around to put you on. I just not see
it was funny. That's funny, man. But yeah, man. Like I said, like I said, with this heavyweight era, I don't know how great it is because not these guys aren't like mixing it up with each other. Like, so it's hard for me to say, like, you know what I mean? Like, so many heavyweights didn't fight each other. You know, like, I mean, Tyson's Fury resume isn't that stacked.
It's not.
Wilder's resume isn't that stacked. Shoot, right now, Dubois, you can make your argument Dubois got a better resume than freaking Fury and Wilder.
You could.
Like
I agree.
this shit it's a joke. Man, it's just I don't understand, bro. Like I really don't. But it is what it is.
The thing about Tyson Fury, and I don't want to say he gets a pass, but he kind of gets a pass, is that for him, he was gone from the sport for 3 years, right? When you're
Yeah.
absent from the sport for 3 years, you kind of get a little bit of leniency because you weren't in
Yeah.
the sport to fight people. But since he
Yeah.
came back, he fought good fights.
Yeah.
It's just that, I thought he was robbed twice. People could call me crazy. I thought he beat him the first time, and I thought he beat him the second time. I thought the second
Yeah.
fight was much closer. I had it by 1 round, the Tyson Fury 7-5. But and I really think this is my conspiracy theory again with no proof. This is all legend. But I think that the fix was in from the jump because they wanted Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. And they knew if Tyson Fury beat Usyk, there's no way he's fighting Anthony Joshua. So they thought we can cash out on both of them. We're going to give him the loss no matter what. He's going to fight AJ, and then it's going to be making hundreds of millions of dollars in Wembley. And guess what Fury said? Fuck y'all. Y'all cheat me twice. I retire. Goodbye.
Yeah. I feel that.
I don't blame him. I would have retired too.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I respect that, man. You sticking to your guns with that robbery. You sticking to your guns with that robbery. I respect it. For me, like I said, for me, that last fight with Fury and Wilder, I don't think them dudes they're not the same after that fight. Like that fight took so much out of both of them, and more than Wilder took more out of in that one. But the way Fury dropped on his butt in that fight, and the way Wilder went down, like them dudes beat each other. Like that's why I said, oh, Usyk's gonna beat Fury. He ain't got the knees no more. His body, he beat up. Them dudes is beat up. And the only reason why he could hold up is because of the weight, the heavy weight. Right. You know what I'm saying? He heavy. But when Fury got hurt by Usyk the first time and had him all over the place in that round, when was the last time Usyk had anybody looking like that when he was fighting that cruiserweight in that tournament? He had nobody looking like that.
The last person would probably been Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew would have been the last one he had looking like that.
Yeah, but Tony Bellew, that was okay. That was that one. And that's another thing. You defended the title, undisputed title, once. You feel me? And it was with Bellew. That was okay. Well, it was whatever.
You got to remember too, though, that Bellew went up to heavyweight and he took off a lot of weight to go back down to cruiserweight. So
yeah, and Bellew started out at light heavyweight, if I'm not mistaken.
He did,
right? He started out at light heavyweight. So
yeah, because Adonis Stevenson sparked that ass.
He sparked him, right? He was drained. Yep. So it's one of them things, man.
I don't even think that was 100% Tony Bellew because I think he had been a heavyweight too long to go back down to cruiser, to be honest.
Oh, no, it wasn't. It wasn't 100%. It wasn't 100% Bellew. Just like when Adonis Stevenson beat him, I don't think that was 100% Bellew. That dude was drained fighting at he shouldn't have even been fighting at light heavyweight. Like that's one of them nights where the weight bully, the weight loss finally caught up to you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was going to happen to Benavidez had he kept fighting at 168. Keep fighting, probably. That weight is going to finally catch up to you. You feel me? So that's why he said, I'm going to move up to 175. I can't do this.
Well, he also knew he could never get the belts because Canelo won't fight him.
And Canelo won't fight him. Man, that too.
I mean, he would have literally been a #1 contender just sitting there with no title.
Yeah, that's true. It's one of them situations where he also shouldn't have lost his title on the scale.
But it makes sense. I tell people this all the time, but they don't understand this, right? So the dude popped out for cocaine, okay? And everybody was like, oh, he was partying. He was partying. No, the fuck he wasn't. He was using cocaine to cut weight because it ups your metabolism. It makes it very easy to lose weight. That's why they do it. That's why athletes use cocaine. Not to get high.
I agree with that.
Not to party.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
but a lot of people don't know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they caught him on it. They banned him. Then the very next fight where he knew he couldn't do the cocaine anymore, he comes in fat. It goes hand in hand. But what I don't like is what they always do with champions. And this is what they did with Benavidez. When he got popped on cocaine, he was stripped and he was allowed to fight for his title in the next fight. Okay?
Yeah.
He was fat and he got to fight the guy. He beat the guy. Okay? The next fight should have been against Canelo to defend for the vacated belt. It should have been Benavidez, Canelo for that WBC. That's what they always do.
Yep.
But only with Canelo, because Canelo makes all the fucking rules. They adhere to what Canelo wants. Canelo, what he says, the sanctioning bodies do. They all get in line because they want that money. So
that's a fact. That's a fact.
That's how it ended up with fucking Callum Smith. Like, how the fuck did it go from Benavidez being the champion to now Callum Smith, who ain't no fucking WBC champion? I think he had the silver title, but he's still not the legitimate champion. And now he's fighting in a vacated title against Canelo for that belt. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's almost like they was setting it up for Canelo to be undisputed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they was.
And the thing is the way that Benavidez fights, I think is very conducive for Canelo to win because he just comes forward and swarms you. Somebody who swarms you is going to give Canelo all the opportunities to counterpunch.
Yeah.
The only
I always had. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say the only question is, can Benavidez overwhelm him too much?
Yeah.
And that's the $1 million question. If he can overwhelm him, normally if you can overwhelm a counterpuncher, you beat them because they're just getting hit too much and they don't let a lot of shots go. But if you can't let your hands go like that and they're slipping and countering you all night, you can't do the volume that you're used to and they lose.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, I had Canelo winning. I also believe had they signed it, there was going to be a rehydration clause.
That's bullshit. I hate rehydration clauses.
And that would have hurt. Yeah, and that would have hurt Benavidez. I know that there would have been a high rehydration clause because the interviews is telling us that there would, he's bringing in 20, 30 pounds. You know that boy was going to put a rehydration clause on that dude.
Well, my thing is this. Where was he saying that against Jaime Munguia? Jaime Munguia comes in 20, 30 pounds bigger. Where was he saying that against Berlanga? He comes in 20, 30 pounds heavier. Where was he saying that against Charlo? It's been known for years that Charlo walks around like 190 something. So where was he saying that against I guarantee you even Caleb Plant, as skinny built as he is, probably walks around 185, 190. But
Caleb Plant weighs about 190. Yeah. Hey, man, that's Canelo, man. He's the new diva. It is what it is. Nothing, he's a diva. The dude is a diva, straight up.
You know who I think will beat him? And people don't agree with me, but I don't care. And Billy. I think Billy a dog walk him.
You think so?
Yep.
I'd like to see
You know who I don't believe can beat him?
Who?
Terrence Crawford. He gonna get knocked the fuck out.
I don't think Crawford could beat him. I don't think so. I don't think Crawford could beat him.
I saw Crawford. So I'm gonna tell you this. I've always had Crawford over Inoue and over Canelo for pound, right? I've always had Crawford over Lomachenko. But when I saw Crawford fight a guy with only 10 fights at 154 in Israel, and he fought him, arguably it was a draw. I thought it was a draw. I'm not mad per se that they gave it to Crawford, but I thought it was a draw. I didn't see him do anything special, and he was getting tagged a lot by the much more efficient guy with only 10 fights. And then after the fight, this dude talking about, oh, this is the strongest fighter I ever fought. So you mean to tell me little ass Israel, who rehydrated to like 167 pounds, that's damn near the same weight that Canelo sucks down to. Canelo cuts weight to get to that weight. If you calling that dude strong, what the fuck you think's gonna happen whenever Canelo gets a hold of you?
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I got Canelo winning. You're right. I 100% agree with everything you said. And like I said, when I watched that fight, and Madrimov landed 3 right hands consecutively without having to set it up. He didn't even have to set it up. It was right hand, right hand, right hand. And you never ever seen Crawford get hit with 3 consecutive right hands back to back. It's never happened in his whole career. That father, 37. He's gonna be 37 when they fight.
Yeah. Well, Canelo's old too. So I mean, it's kind of a wash in my opinion.
Yeah, but he ain't listen, man. At fighting that, he had a hard time fighting that. He had a hard time fighting at 54. He's never fought at 160.
And my
they
thing
fight
is
that
this,
168.
People don't understand, like, Crawford threw over 150 more punches than Israel, okay? Over 150 more shots. And by the totality of the fight, by the end of the fight, only 9 punches separated them. Only 9.
Yeah.
This dude threw 150 more shots and only outlanded them by 9 punches.
Yeah, he won off being
11. I think it was 11. I'm wrong. It was 11 punches.
Yeah, they gave him the victory because it was Villiers.
Right. But my thing is, if you are getting counterpunched and missing left and right against Israel, who only has 10 professional fights, what are you going to do against a guy who is one of the best counterpunchers in all of boxing?
Facts.
I don't. And then the other thing is this. What people don't account for is every time Canelo fights somebody, he's fighting guys that walk into the ring 190 plus. Every fucking fight. He's fighting somebody that's over 190 pounds. He's going to fight Crawford. Crawford may be at his biggest 170, 175 because he blows up for the fight, okay? At his biggest. He is going to be so small in the ring next to Canelo. And Canelo is going to be, for the first time, fighting a guy that he significantly outweighs. I see it, and it's the fact that, like, Canelo doesn't try to score on you. He just tries to beat you up. He's going to hit you in the elbow. He's going to hit you in the forearm, the shoulder, the hip. He's just going to hit you to hit you. It doesn't matter if it scores. He's just going to land on you.
Yeah.
And when you see, even when you look at Bivol, right, who completely dominated him, I believe Bivol arguably probably beat him all 12 rounds. We could argue that, right?
Yeah.
But even with as much domination that Bivol did to Canelo, look at how lumped up he was by the end of the fight.
He was.
And he left the guy lumped up who dominated him. So it's like, I'm telling you, there ain't no fucking way Crawford, he has no idea what these shots are going to be like. He's going to be just like Charlo. When Charlo took his little small ass up there and he got hit for the first time, he was like, oh, fuck, and went into run mode for the rest of the fight.
Yeah, that's what I said. I've been saying that in a lot of people's lives, that he's going to fight just like Charlo. He's going to fight just like Laura, where they're just going to run for 12 rounds. And then the fans could argue and say the guy who was fighting off the back foot won, which I don't believe that. I don't automatically go with the boxer just because he was fighting off the back foot. Like, I go back to the Laura fight, for instance. I done argue people so many times and they still can't give me a reason how Laura won. You can't win a fight not punching. I'm sorry, you just can't. You know, I don't know. It is what it is, man.
I mean, and that's just, I agree with you. Like, the thing is, I don't see it. But even whenever you look at, like, Lara, he's more rangy. He's got more length on him than Canelo does. The only thing Crawford's got is arm reach. They're the same. They're going to be looking eye to eye. Do you know how long it's been? I mean, I guess you could say John Ryder, but even him, I think, was a little bit taller than Canelo. This is going to be the first time that Canelo was looking eye to eye with a guy who's significantly smaller. Yeah,
that's true. And with those long arms, Crawford is not even a range fighter. He doesn't fight at like Floyd uses his long arms to his advantage. He's a range fighter. He fights at a distance that's so perfect for him. Whereas Crawford don't fight like that. Like, Crawford don't be keeping the stick out there and guys is backing off. Like,
no, he's only fought like that one time in his career, and that was against
yeah,
Victor Postol. That's
with
it.
Victor Postal, that was it. And that fight was still like, you know, it was, he won, but it wasn't like, oh, total domination. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
so I don't know, man. But it is what it is. Hey, Tony, I'm gonna listen. I gotta go. I'm gonna be listening though if you're still on.
So if you about to go, I'm about to end the show. We about to stop.
Okay, all right. All right, man. Salute,
Hey,
man. Thanks for
hold
having me on, man.
Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. I'm gonna take myself off the panel. You gonna close it out. You said it was a takeover, so go ahead and take over and close us out.
Oh man, thanks for having me on. This is a Tony's Review / MOBC collaboration. And if you get us two together, we'll mollywop any one of y'all dudes in the debate. Salute.